Alright everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F123 Drive Remote with Haas, episode number 10 today for the Belgian Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode uploaded last week, I recommend you go and check that one out before seeing that one, the British Grand Prix as well, before seeing this one, because you would have also seen at the end of that Lewis Hamilton announcing his retirement from Formula 1. Now we've got our rival explore with Norris. I don't actually know if we won that or not. I think we didn't, but basically we need to choose a new rival, but I'm not going to because the three that are on offer are just not realistic really to what we need to be doing. So instead we're going to move to R&D. We're going to put a major weight reduction upgrade on. We're going to put a major weight redistribution upgrade on as well. Both of those will come in the Italian Grand Prix. I would like to put tyre wear on, but that will have to wait. But here's good news on the R&D front because we have got some parts coming through. Admittedly, the failed ones from the previous episode where 4 of them failed. We had a major factory issue. We're now going to put 2 lots of drag reduction on though for Italy. Those will come on in time for the Italian Grand Prix. Now, we've also got a bit of a wet sprint at the start. But it is going to go dry, so we'll see what happens with the weather there. But yeah, we're close to Aston Martin though. So yeah, we've pulled away from McLaren. Williams and Alfa Romeo have brought upgrades, so it's AlphaTauri and Alpine. Laurent Rossi will be absolutely fuming. Like, the team's in 9th place. They've not been, well, in real life they've not been scoring, but you know, in this career mode they've not been scoring that great. You know, we were comfortably able to beat them. I'll try to see if we can get Kevin in front of them this time though, because he has struggled occasionally at times. As we move of course into qualifying, and when I completely forgot that this is actually a sprint Grand Prix weekend, which, you know, I've made my thoughts known about sprints as well, especially with the 50% format. It's just draining to record this plus, well, you're not even going to get 6, it's 8 laps for me because it's 50%, but 16 laps is all we're going to get around Spa in the sprint race. So I hope you're prepared for that next weekend. But anyway, first lap not great, left us P12. K-Mag's only down in P14, so yeah, times could be going better for the Haas team. Piastri's up in 11th, but make that 12th as we're down to P14. We've got McLaren around us and Tsunoda, as we're only fractionally up through the first sector, but the second sector is where I need to make up time. This is always where I lose time to the AI. I think it's just the setups, like you gradually put on Belgium favouring the Kemmel Straight really, and of course that sort of back run to the bus stop, as we are a 10th and a bit up through this corner. This corner is always a horrible corner, this sequence, you know, understeer there for me, losing a little bit of time through that corner, but then we gain at that corner as well. In this corner, don't run off wide. My tyre changed colour once on that barrier as well, so I definitely don't want that. So we come through then this final sequence of corners, almost 2/10 up now on our previous best time, as we run through to the bus stop, and again, because it's a slow corner, brake assist doesn't work properly. Up 5/10 up though, as we gain a massive amount for the bus stop. That is, well, a big improvement, and it puts us only 11th. Looks like everyone else improved, but there's not a lot in it from what, P8 back. I mean, Alonso's is also a little bit reachable. You know, Perez, Sainz and Verstappen though very close as well, so yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see what we can do from 11th place on the grid. Can we get both of us in the points? We'll have to wait and see. It's time for today's sprint race first. It's time for the Belgian Grand Prix sprint.
It's wet here today and we're expecting the downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Phoenix, Magnussen, Stroll, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Norris, Albon, Sargent and Nick de Vries. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So we are down on the grid. As you can see, the game's given us mediums. It's raining. The entire grid is actually going to be on medium compound tyres. Everyone is on mediums. Everyone has dry tyres, and it's raining. Well, this can only go badly, I think. 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix sprint, and away we go. It's actually a good start, better than Gasly. It's a horrendous start. Get blocked off by Ocon, Alonso, I think that is, and Bottas around the outside, trying to get in front of the Mercedes there, George Russell. We did try to get around Ocon, but unable to do that. There is Alonso's very wide through that corner. Can we get Alonso here? He's been forced out by Ocon. Now we're going to go side by side down the hill. Thank you very much. Try have a look around the outside here of Ocon. Now Alonso's going to come back at us here. Can we hold off Alonso down the inside? Will he give us the room? Yes, he yields. And we, for now, retain P9 as well. As we're watching George Russell, he's having a go getting past the man he replaced at Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas. But good. I haven't mentioned it, but a good qualifying for Bottas there, and to be up the order there. Good chance of some points for Alfa Romeo. Rare chance of some points really. As Gasly comes past lap 4, the rain has fine. There was no dry line that came in. It just like as soon as lap 4 started, as well as we get a little bit close to comfort with Gasly there, and we're going to let Zhou have a go at him, and Zhou gets in front. Actually, we're just going to carry on playing this game that we've been playing pretty much most of the season, is letting the bloke with getting DRS and just blasting past. It costs us time to the car in front, but we can't catch anyone. But yeah, there's no like dry line that comes in like there is in real life, which is so shoddy because we from EA and Codemasters, because we've had it before in the F1 games, where that dry line comes in. It's another racing games where there's a sort of a wet to dry transition. There was that. It was just like the rain just turned off, and all of a sudden the track was instantly dry. Yeah, I don't know if you've had that as well. Let me know about that in the comments below. But yeah, one thing to note is my ICE is a bit warm, which is an issue because I think we were losing a lot of power. And Mark did actually come over the radio and give me a message to say you may notice a power loss. So this is an issue because, well, you can see our best time is miles slower than everyone else. So I think we had a little bit of an issue. So what we're going to do, we might as well just take fresh engine components. We probably need some anyway. So we'll see what we can do. Time for the race.
The Belgian Grand Prix, a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019 Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since a certain Michael Schumacher in 1992. One of the circuits that makes Formula One. Welcome to the Belgian Grand Prix. We are about to go racing through the Ardennes Forest, 4.3 miles of long straights, fast corners and huge elevation changes. Turn 1 at La Source moves straight into Eau Rouge, eventually climbing into Radion. They are corner names to get the heart pumping. It's old school and we adore it. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Ocon, Bottas, Stroll, Joe, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Magnussen, Norris, Tsunoda, Sargent, De Vries and Phoenix. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Phoenix. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Now, I did only want to take the ICE, but breaking part firmware in this game, not like in real life, because in real life you have to start the pit lane, but we don't have the option in F123 to do that. We are for starting from last place, so I've taken literally a new fresh everything as well. Race strategy is a bit interesting. I'm thinking medium to soft, medium to hard, making sure we don't get undercut too much. So fibre lights are out, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix from last on the grid. I suppose we try and get De Vries instantly on the start, the man who won't be racing here in real life because he's been fired already. Down on the inside a few cars there, but the Alpine there. Now, I did have a look and think there was only a bit of collision there, but we did survive. And now we're trying to get Gasly in the Alpine, which is not a very fast car, of course, in his career mode. Been blocked off by Albon, which hasn't yet unlocked its bullet line, straight line speed. Again, Alonso goes wide of that corner. He's going side by side with Magnussen. Can we follow our teammate through as we go down the hill? Is it going to be deja vu for Alonso? Well, no, it's not. It's reversed. This time we're on the inside of that corner, and this time we're able to force Alonso out and get the position again. Alonso not having a very good weekend as well. Will, he could be seeing more than one retirement. We'll have to wait and see. Jump to lap 2. Decided that I've had enough of being stuck behind K-Mag. We're going to go overtaking down the inside. It's easy move turn 1 and move up to P12. Next up is Oscar Piastri in a slower McLaren. As I mentioned before, that performance update needs to come sooner rather than later, really, to boost McLaren and Aston Martin up the grid. As up at the front, it's business as usual. Is Perez. Well, Perez is a lot better. I mean, it's his early season form when Red Bulls were getting 1-2s every week and not his later form. Hamilton is P3 ahead of Sainz in P4. We're having a look at Zhou Guanyu for P10. It'd be a shame to rob Alfa Romeo, but it's a lovely switchback move. Zhou went too deep into this corner. He broke late to try and defend, and he went too deep into that corner. Allowed me to brake slightly earlier, cut back and get the better exit out of there. Move up to P10. Now I'm going to look at Lance Stroll. Can we get him down the inner sight? This fast left-hander. Yes, just about. Stroll did have to yield there. He did yield the position in the end, but I didn't think. I was hoping that he would yield, otherwise that would have been a race-ending contact potentially. As well as now we've got Ocon and Bottas fighting for P7. We've managed to get Bottas because he's been forced out by Ocon, and Stroll's got him as well. This is what happened with Bottas there. Again, we almost hit the back of Ocon, almost, but not quite. And then, just got forced wide by myself and Ocon. And Bottas has an issue, actually, so he's actually going to be way down the grid. So we're now looking to get Esteban Ocon down the inside of the bus stop, comfortable move, and up to P7. But now, fortunately, the top 3 teams, the 2 Mercedes, the 2 Ferraris, and the 2 Red Bulls, are far out in front. As it's the other Alpha. This is a terrible time for Alfa Romeo because that Zhou Guanyu is out of the race, and again he decides to take turn 1 even though his engine's blown up. We jump to lap 10. Tyre wear is very harsh for the Haas around here, so we are going to come in and fit the hards, which will take comfortably the end of the Grand Prix. There's a few others on hards apart from the Ferraris, of course, the Brussels on the hards. As well, those who've chosen the mediums start tend to go to hard. 2.3 second stop, which isn't bad. We're out in front of Stroll's also on hard tyres. as well. But there is Esteban Ocon, and Ocon has unfortunately undercutters. But what you may not notice there is that Magnussen double stacked. Poor communication by Haas has cost Magnussen some places and a chance of a double point score. And that's put him out behind Bottas. So Alonso is now at just 10th place. As well, we are just comfortably going to obliterate Ocon with a straight line speed and move up to P7 as well. Up at the front, unfortunately for Perez, he's not had a great time of it. The hard tyres aren't working for him, and Hamilton now is ahead of him, and Verstappen is way out in front there on the medium tyres, and that's how it's basically going to finish, ladies and gentlemen, because those past 10 laps were absolutely nothing else happened. Yeah, you know, it just happens sometimes in Formula 1, and it seems to have happened in today's episode. You know, Stroll, to be fair, did get Ocon with DRS on the last lap, just about, which is why Alonso was closing in, so it's a good recovery for Alonso. K-Mag there as well, but we're coming home, best of the rest, P7. I'll take that. You know, that is, you know, exactly where we wanted to be in this race. We couldn't do any more. The car's not there. You know, the Haas car isn't there compared to the top 3 teams, which is why they are comfortably out in front in the end. Really, but P7 from the back of the grid, I will definitely take that. You know, even matching, obviously, a lot of people squabbling, the others squabbling, and Perez actually did clear the others, and actually Leclerc finished ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton's tyres went off in the end, which limited him. So in the standings, Verstappen's lead is 65 points, get ahead of his own teammate, who moves into second, ahead of George Russell in third. Sainz is fourth, struggling as Ferrari continue to struggle. We've taken some points out of Alonso as we look to close in on P7. Constructors, we've also taken points out of Aston Martin, but not as many as I'd like, because obviously both the Astons scored, and you know, it's only a 1 point gain really, which you know, we need to look next time. You know, K-Mag hasn't scored for 6 races now, you know, since P10 at Monaco, so he needs to increase, you know. But for us, we needed to get points here today, absolutely. After the 2 DNS, the struggles in Silverstone, it was about time we got those points back on the board. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more episodes of the F123 driver promo video on the road to Ferrari, as and when they come out. The next episode is recorded at Monza. That episode will be out on Thursday this week. So yes, until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.